Nothing better than a good old-fashioned MVP race. In previous seasons of the NBA, we've seen some pretty close and legendary MVP races, from James Harden and Russell Westbrook in 2017, to the tight race between Jordan, Barkley, and Magic in 1990, to some of the battles between Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. What we're seeing this year is something we've never really seen before. Two guys having historic and never-before-seen seasons, and both leading their teams to the highest of highs, with a certain dominant guy from Greece not too far behind them. Nikola Jokic is coming off of winning 3 of the last 4 MVP awards and possibly could have won the 4th one in there, and Embiid barely beat him out. And he's on track to possibly win another one, being on pace to be the first center in NBA history to ever average a triple-double, and the Denver Nuggets truly do suffer when he is not on the court. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander this season has been having one of the best scoring seasons that we've seen on insane efficiency for a guard, averaging 32 points on 53% shooting from the field. And his averages of 32, 5, and 6 with 2 steals on 50% shooting. This is the type of season we haven't seen since Michael Jordan last accomplished it in the 1992 season and ended up winning the MVP award. And well, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a household name in the MVP race over the last 5 seasons, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. He's continued his incredible efficiency and two-way dominance on both ends of the floor, along with expanding his game to add a bit of a mid-range shot to just make him even harder to deal with on a night-to-night basis. He's averaging almost 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists on night on 61% shooting, but unfortunately for him, he is currently out with a calf strain injury at least until after the All-Star break. This is the type of close, historic MVP race that we've never really seen before, and it makes us thankful that the NBA is not sponsored by Allstate, because yes, we already know we're in good hands. Who do you think will win this season's MVP award and why? Let me know down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Thank you all for all the love on the videos recently. The MVP award, one of the most illustrious and decorated awards in all of sports, as it is a very, very difficult award to win. One guy wins it every single year, and you have to put together a nearly perfect season in order to win it. We've seen guys win it in a variety of ways, from leading the league in scoring and being impossible to ignore, such as Allen Iverson in the 2001 season, to being just dominant and polarizing on both ends of the floor, such as Giannis Antetokounmpo when he won his 2 MVP awards in 2019 and 2020. Now, the true reason for having an MVP race is because you have to put together a complete season in order to do it. You can't just have one really good stretch of games and expect to win the MVP award that way. You need to be consistent on a night-to-night basis in order to build your case for the award. We've seen in previous years, such as the battles between Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, that they would fight back and forth throughout the year for the award, guys putting up new season highs and crazy performances. The head-to-head matchups would also partially determine this as well. We've seen a large variety of winning or carrying bad rosters to playoff spots that would end up ultimately deciding the MVP award. When Nikola Jokic won the award in 2022, his team would finish as the 6th seed in the Western Conference, which we also saw from Russell Westbrook winning it in 2017 because of the piss poor roster that he played for, and because you could tell Nikola Jokic didn't really have much help and his co-stars were out for the majority of the season. And well, part of the reason this year's MVP race is so difficult is hard to decide between supporting cast, numbers, and narratives. Now, the guy who is currently at the top of the MVP race is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, for him, the main argument is not just his historic numbers, but also his contribution to winning. The Thunder are currently the best record team in the NBA at 44-9 as of the time of recording this video, and a win against the Timberwolves would place them at 45-9, 9 losses before the All-Star break, which is something that is a very historic team run. Not just that, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been missing Chet Holmgren for a majority of the season, as he would end up getting injured in his 10th game of the year. Now, just to show you the impact that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has, the Thunder this season have a 119.7 offensive rating with Shai on the court, and without him, their offensive rating is only a 103.9. Shut up, loud vehicle. Now, the Oklahoma City Thunder very much rely on Shai's shot creation ability to carry them through a lot of their offense, as at times they're very slow and very stagnant when it comes to creating a shot, especially when he's off the court. Even Jalen Williams at times will struggle to get his shot off. Now, when Shai says, my whole life is consistent, well, on the basketball court, he's surely not lying. He's the type of guy to go out and give you the same exact type of performance almost every single night, about 30 points points on 50+% shooting. That is an average night for this guy, and if he scores under 30, that's literally a bad night. If he scores 26 points, that's a bad game for a guy like Shai. He has been the model of consistency for the Thunder this entire season, and on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, he is good, and on defense, he may not be the best defender, but he still holds his own on that side. Now, the one thing going around that is tarnishing Shai's image as a basketball player is the free throw merchant narratives that are going around, saying that he can't score without getting to the free throw line 196 times a game. Well, the thing is about this, he's averaging 8.8 free throw attempts a game, which isn't even that ridiculous for a guy averaging 32 points. Heck, even in the last 2 seasons, Luka Doncic averaged 32.4 points and 33.9 points, and both times he averaged this amount of free throw attempts or more per game. The thing is, great scorers are always going to get to the line, and some people may not like the pump fakes and stepping into defenders that he does. He's definitely not the only guy out there who will do this. Many guards in today's NBA will abuse the offensive benefit of the doubt and the whistle, such as guys like Trae Young and Jalen Brunson, who love to stop on a dime when the defender is behind them to draw a foul. Now, the one thing I will suggest is don't let the online troll narrative stop you from enjoying what great season we're seeing from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And well, his season is very great, but speaking of great, we cannot forget about Jokic. He is having one of the greatest offensive peaks the NBA has ever seen. He's currently putting up numbers of nearly 30 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, and 10 assists on almost 58% from the field and 45% from three. Absolutely filthy, disgusting numbers from the Joker. Now, when it comes to guys with over 53-point attempts this season, Jokic is averaging actually 49% from three, excluding his heave attempts, because he does chuck up that full court shot as he's not afraid to hurt his percentage for a chance at giving his team another bucket. And well, we've seen it actually be pretty effective this season. And the advanced statistics really do speak Serbian, as they're always favoring the Joker's numbers, and he just shows you that he is a model of success, dominance, and he is overall, in the advanced statistics, probably the most valuable NBA player in the last 5 years. And yeah, well, there's not really anything you can say to knock this guy at all. His numbers speak everything to you. We've seen in the past this guy go out and have very, very quiet scoring nights, and yet he'll still find a way to get his teammates involved and blow out the other team. There was a game against the Pistons on January 7th, 2024, in which Jokic scored only 4 points, took 3 shots, and played 24.5 minutes, but would end up with 7 rebounds and 16, you heard that right, 16 assists in only 24 minutes. He's so good at creating for his teammates. He has some of the greatest basketball IQ, knowledge, and vision that we have ever seen. For Jokic to win the award, we're going to have to hope that voter fatigue doesn't start to kick in. The one knock that Nikola Jokic has on his game, because obviously his team has been performing a lot better after their sort of rocky start at the beginning of the season. The Nuggets are currently 36-19, only half a game behind the Grizzlies for the second place spot in the Western Conference. While the Thunder do have a sizable gap over the Nuggets, it is very clear that the numbers part do indeed favor Nikola Jokic. The one knock that people have against Nikola Jokic as a player is on the defensive side of the ball at times. He's a little bit slow or is not the greatest defender or rim protector whatsoever, because obviously he's not super athletic. However, what does help him on that side of the ball is he's very good at positioning himself, not just to end the possession with a good rebound, but also in order to get a good stop at times. But again, as we say, no player will be completely perfect, such as Shai not being an incredible three-point shooter and Nikola Jokic not being the greatest defender. We have to appreciate the greatness of everything else they are doing in the other 99% of their game. And well, the last guy up in the debate is Giannis Antetokounmpo. As we mentioned previously, he's averaging 32, 12, and 6 with almost a steal and over a block a game on 61% from the field. He's cut down on his three-point volume because that is not his strength as a player, and he's increased his mid-range volume because he started to pick up on that shot, as we mentioned. Out of these 3 players in this MVP discussion, this guy is easily the best defender of the 3. He's a very good help side defender, very good at blocking shots, being physical, and stopping drives. When we look up seasons of guys that average 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists for an entire season, we see the names of Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, Giannis Antetokounmpo. If he successfully completes this feat, he'll be the first player to do this in almost 60 years. He has sort of regressed when it comes to the MVP race because of a little bit of voter fatigue, but he has still been there as a player every single year, model of consistency, playing 60 to 70 games every year, and his numbers either stay the same or continue to get better. The biggest knocks on Giannis when it comes to his MVP case is the fact that he is not a good free throw shooter, as this season he's only shooting 58% from the line, easily the worst mark of his career. Also, the Milwaukee Bucks are currently 5th in the Eastern Conference with a record of 29-24, which comparatively to the West, this would place him at 9th in the conference. When it comes to the MVP award, winning is a pretty big deal because of the fact that obviously your value is not the same if you are putting up good numbers on a bad team compared to putting them up on a good team. The Bucks started off very rough this season towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings, but since then have very much climbed back. Giannis is currently hurt, as I mentioned before, so we won't dig too much into this. I hope he's able to come back right after the All-Star break and be playing at the MVP level that we know he's capable of. And the thing is, in this video, we haven't even mentioned guys like Donovan Mitchell, who is currently leading the Cavs to a 44-10 record, the best in the Eastern Conference. Jason Tatum, who is averaging 27, 9, and 6 on 45% from the field and 36% from three, and leading Boston to a 39-16 record. Guys like Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, who are the two-headed monster, leading the New York Knicks to the 3rd spot in the Eastern Conference. And all of those guys I just mentioned are very much playing at superstar levels and are just shy of the top 3 that we've mentioned. And well, between those top 3 guys, who is really going to win the MVP award? As of the past month, Shai has been at the top of the MVP ladder on the NBA website. And well, the biggest thing for Shai also is the fact that he has the most 50-point games in the NBA this season with 3. And guess what? They were all on back-to-back Wednesdays, meaning in a span of 15 days, Shai would drop 53 times. And as of February 7th, his numbers for the last 10 games were 38 points a game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and almost 2 steals a game while shooting 58% from the field. You heard that, 58% from the field. Now, it's going to be very hard for Shai to stay ahead of Nikola Jokic, who again is averaging nearly a 30-point triple-double as a center. I'm not sure if Giannis will be able to catch up in this race just due to the injury and because of the Bucks being behind the Nuggets and Thunder when it comes to winning and their place in the standings. This still doesn't make this MVP race anything short of remarkable. Who do you think deserves to win the MVP this season? Let me know down in the comments below. And do you think this is the tightest MVP race we've ever seen? I personally think it is definitely one of the best. We're seeing historic seasons from 3 different guys, and all of them do have a pretty good case, and especially the top 2 guys are duking it out, and it's like almost every night they're putting up crazy performances. You're like, this is the MVP, this is the MVP. Oh, it's Jokic, it's Shai. It's really hard to decide, and I would hate to be a voter that has to decide this at the end of the season. Thank you all for watching today's video. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Please and thank you. And as always, see you next time. And I know who my MVP is.